Hello student, today we are learning about Joule's law for class 10th. It was James Prescott Joule who was the first man who introduced when current passes through a conductor, then the movement of charge particle, that means we obviously know that the movement of electron takes place. That means at that situation, when we give the potential difference between the ends of the conductor, the electrons are moving from one end to another end. That means electron do some work inside the conductor, and that work done generate energy, because that energy is generated in the form of its movement. So that energy is generated in the form of kinetic energy. And when that kinetic energy produced in the conductor, then it produces heat. On the basis of this theory, there are so many heating elements, heating devices like tube, like heater, like geyser, etc. are manufactured. So here today, we are just discussing about the theory, the law given by James Prescott Joule. Now, let's see on the board. That is Joule's law. Consider a conductor PQ in which Vp is the potential at end P and Vq is the potential at end Q. I is the amount of current passes through P to Q, because Vp is the higher potential end and Vq is the lower potential end. And let R is the resistance of that conductor. So, when potential difference arises, that means Vp minus Vq arises between the ends of the conductor, that actually the work is done by the charge particle. Here the charge particle is in terms of electron, and if W is the work done for that charge particles, then Vp minus Vq is given by W by Q. Here Q stands for the charge particles and W is the work done when electrons moving from Q into P. Or V is equal to W by Q. If we let Vp minus Vq is equal to V, that is the potential difference between P and Q, then we can say V is equal to W by Q, or W is equal to V into Q. Actually, this is the work done by the electron, which is equal to the product of potential difference and the total number of electrons. But this W, that means the work done by the electrons, is spent in terms of energy. So we can write that W is equal to heat, and that energy in the form of kinetic, which generate heat when it passes through the conductor, or electron do some work when passes through the conductor. Now, also, V is equal to IR and Q is equal to IT. V, according to Ohm's law, is the product of electric current and resistance of the conductor, and Q, the charge, is the product of current and time. So, H is equal to I square RT. This is the amount of heat generated when a current passes through a conductor. Then the amount of heat is equal to the product of square of the current, resistance, and the time for which it passes through the conductor. So Joules states that When current passes through a conductor having resistance R for time t, then the heat generated is directly proportional to the square of the current when R and T be constant. H is directly proportional to R when I and T is constant, and H is directly proportional to time when I and R is taken constant. Therefore, H is directly proportional to I square RT. That is Joule's law. That is the law given by James Prescott Joule. That means the heat generated when current passes through a conductor is directly proportional to the square of the current, is directly proportional to the resistance of that conductor, and directly proportional to the time for which it passes through the conductor. When we replace the proportional sign, that is H is directly proportional to I square RT. When we replace the proportionality sign by an equal sign, then we should take a constant, that is K I square RT, and experimentally found that this constant is equal to 1. Therefore, we get, according to Joule's law, H is equal to I square RT. So, according to Joule's law, we can say that heat generated when current passes through a conductor is equal to the product of I square, that means square of the current, radius of the resistance of the conductor, and time for which current passes through that conductor. Now, specifications of this law is just we have H is equal to I square RT, or this is the first part, that's the first law. H is equal to, we can also write VIT. Why? Why? Because since IR is equal to V, so IR we can write IR, V for IR, and we get IT also. H is equal to I square RT. Now multiply and divide by R, we get H is equal to I square R square T by R. Therefore, H is equal to IR, we can write V square by R into T. That is the third formula. So all these formula, that means first, second and third, is just helpful to solve our numericals based on Joule's law. Thank you.